This chapter is chapter 2, My True Ambition. I like when my mom listens to me in the kitchen. When she asks me about my day, she always asks if there's anyone new I'm hanging out with or if I'd like to bring anyone by the restaurant. She asks even though my best friend stays the same, my very own cousin, Rachel Wells. Rachel's a year younger than I am. Rachel's voice is like pages turning, whispery and smooth. And there's time in between each thing she says. She looks at her feet when she speaks in her paper voice, and her cheekbones get pink like she's telling you about the time she forgot to wear her underwear, even if she's just telling about what she had for dinner last night. Rachel moved away for a while with her mother, her father, and her little baby brother, Freddie. She came back with her mother and brother. My mom and her mom find a lot to talk about together. Rachel left the same time my father left, but Rachel came back. That's reason number 1. She's my best friend. Some of the girls at school thought Rachel was stuck up, but I knew she wasn't. For real, shy girls usually aren't. They usually care more about anyone else. They usually care more than anyone else about what other people think. It's like they're walking on ice and the ice is made of other people's opinions. But there's something not nice about shy people too. Something kind of stingy in the way that they make you talk first. And then their answers are just one word. That's why it took so long for Rachel to join us upper graders in Double Dutch. Always holding back. And I had to go over to the fence, special, just to get her. Y'all know what Double Dutch is? It's a type of jump rope. Yeah, it's 2 long jump ropes. Something that kids will do. You get 2 long jump ropes. You have one person on one side, one person on the other. And then they make the ropes go round and round. And then you jump in there and do your jump rope thing. And there's like different songs and cadences that you sing as you play. You jump in and jump out. It's actually pretty fun if you've never done it. Rachel, oh, come on, take your turn. Jump. But she wouldn't, not for the longest time. Even now, she always lets other people jump first while she turns the rope. So reason number 2 that she's my best friend is because I always have to look out for her. And reason number 3 is the fact that she's the only one that knows my true ambition. But for now, nobody could see my true ambition. So nobody believes it. I only believe it because I saw it just once, just for a second. I saw it in a crystal ball. All right, it wasn't a crystal ball. It was a goldfish bowl turned upside down. And it was in the middle of summer, and Rachel and I needed something to do. So we tried telling fortunes at the kitchen table. What do you see? I asked Rachel. Nothing. She shrugged. I waited for her to ask me the question back, which is the polite thing to do. I got tired of waiting. You know what I see? What? Nothing. I said just to be mean. But I did see something. I saw my own reflection turned upside down. Something in me tilted and I knew. No. Wait, I do see something, I announced to Rachel. I'm going to be a writer. The words came out all by themselves. You? She blew some air through her nose and shook her head. What? Like a writer? With a book? In the library or something? It sounded so good. Uh-huh. What are you going to write about? Oh, just stuff. What stuff? Everyday stuff? Interesting stuff? Sorry, she says, what stuff? Everyday stuff? Interesting stuff? She looked at me like I was homework. Everyday stuff isn't interesting stuff, she pointed out. She took out a deck of cards from the kitchen drawer and began to shuffle them. Writing a book's too hard. How would you know? You never tried. Well, I never tried because it's too hard. I wouldn't write a book unless somebody made me. I have no interest, she explained. Well, I'm going to make me, I announced. I have interest. I'm going to be the youngest writer ever to have a book in the library. You'll see. Rachel looked at me hard, like she saw the sparkling of Lake Michigan in my eyes. I smiled at her, and I hoped she saw good things, exciting things. She blinked and frowned. No, she just saw my eyes brown like brick, like the high-rises that block my view east, block my view of the lake, block my view of what's moving with hardness and stillness and curtains hung crooked. The buildings hunker there like boxes in a closet, blocking the way to hidden birthday gifts or other surprises the grown-ups haven't told us about. But I know exciting things are there, hidden. It's just a matter of pushing past. Well, then you better get a good teacher this year, Sahara, Rachel warned. Like I have anything to do with that. Why does she have to talk to me like she's grown? Oh, I need support, huh? I flashed her a look. Rachel must have decided there were no more fortunes to tell because back and forth, she dealt the deck for war. She turned over an ace of spades. Jeez, Rachel, don't you ever make any wishes? Well, I would like to be able to see without glasses. And to not have to watch Freddie so much. And I guess I wouldn't mind having a cousin who's a famous writer, she said, collecting my 2 hearts. I bring home a big pile of books to read every week. I usually stay inside because we don't live in a good neighborhood. When my mom sends me to the corner store, she watches for me out the window the whole time. I see Mrs. Rosen watching too. She's old and shrunken. Her head is hardly higher than her window box, but there's her head like one of the flowers. I don't like the men sitting in the cars and drinking on the street or the lowriders that pass with the bass so loud that on the radio that my fillings rattle. Rachel and I are allowed to skate up and down the block, but in the summer, Rachel usually goes to Cordelia Carbuncle's house to play in their yard, and I'm not invited. I tell myself it's because I'm older. I tell myself, and I'm glad. I don't even like Cordelia. Rachel lost her glasses 3 times on purpose because Cordelia told her that there's not one single famous model who wears glasses. So when I went to the dentist, I borrowed a copy of 17 from the waiting room, and I drew glasses on all the girls. It made Rachel laugh, but she still tries to copy Cordelia and do what she says. For instance, Cordelia's mama lets her wear makeup. Rachel complained so much that her mama let her wear lip gloss on Sundays. It did look kind of pretty, so I asked my mom if I could wear makeup on Sundays too. The only reason a girl your age should wear makeup is if she's a rock star or a working girl. And the minute you start showing promise in either one of those areas, we'll hop on down to Target and stock you up with everything you need, she promised. Don't you tell your auntie I said that now. What she does with Rachel's her own business. I just happen to think there's nothing more attractive than a sensible girl, she said. To who? To who? To God, she said. And when you go to God's house, it ain't got to be no fashion show. You just come as you are. She gave me a squeeze. I think if my mom had to name her best friend, I might top the list. But Cordelia tops Rachel's list. Rachel and Cordelia like to sit out front when she comes to visit. When the teenage boys say hi to Cordelia, she says hi back. Rachel doesn't exactly say hi, but she acts all busy with her baby brother on her lap and smiles that terrible, well, I don't know what else to do kind of smile. That makes me cluck my tongue and want to pinch her. How come you don't say hi, Cordelia asked me once. I don't know them. Well, they're just being friendly. They got no business being friendly. Well, that's why you don't have any friends, said Cordelia in a perky way. I do too have friends. Yeah? Who? Beezus. Beezus Quimby. Beezus? That's a peculiar name, said Cordelia. So's Carbuncle, I said. Maybe if you didn't make fun of people's names, you'd have more friends. Come on, Rachel, let's go upstairs. On the stairwell, I talk low. Don't talk to strange men, Rachel. We don't got daddies to beat them up if they come bother us. Rachel nodded and asked me, who's Beezus? Well, I met her when you moved away, I said, and then she moved when you came back to town. Anybody know who Beezus Quimby is? Go ahead.
It's from the Ramona book.
It's Beezus Quimby is one of the characters in the Ramona book, which is written by, do you know the author?
No.
Beverly Cleary. And if you read the very beginning of this book, it says, to Beverly Cleary, thanks. You see that connection?
Yeah.
Now, why would Sahara say that's her friend? What's something Sahara likes to do?
Read.
She likes to read. So she calls it out like Beezus is her friend. She's making it up. She gets it from a book. So Sahara does like to read. She is capable, even though the teachers at her school may not think so. I'm so glad, Ava, that you knew that. Good job. Rachel does not like to read. She likes to watch TV, and so does Freddie. He bounces in his playpen when all the people on the talk show start throwing punches. Sometimes I'm at her apartment, but mostly I stay in mine, which Mom says is fine as long as I lock the doors if she's at work. I open up all the windows, and I let the breeze and the music from the ice cream man float through the air, and the music from the ice cream man floats through the air and lifts the curtains. I lie on my bed with my feet up on the wall and I read. I roller skate around the apartment until Mr. Martinez knocks his broom on the ceiling. I write in my notebook and rip out the pages to take to the library. I make lunch of canned sweet corn and boiled hot dogs, which I pierce with a fork and hold over the gas burner to turn the skin black, just like a real campfire. Just like my daddy taught me. My daddy was a great cook. He even did it for a while for a living. My daddy could do anything. He liked to try new things all the time.